Hey guys, welcome back to another day trading recap. Today is Wednesday and it was not the best trading day. Also, I'm coming out with a recap video a little bit later because I'm sure some of you guys are aware we are in the middle of hiring round for Trade Journal, and yesterday I had 7 interview calls and today an equal amount, and I am shocked. So I take a little bit of a break. But now getting back to the recap video, and honestly, this one's going to be a fairly quick one. There's just not that much to talk about. And I already looked at my profit for the day because I had a huge red trade, and I thought I went red, and I did. I went red. I had a big green to red move in my overall P&L, and I checked. And then I worked hard to get back, and now I'm slightly in the green. I'm up $100 on the day, so it's a total scratch day, a total throwaway day, it feels like. I was up around $800-900, and then one trade I gave back a little bit over $1,000, and then I dug myself out of the hole. The problem was there wasn't really any other opportunities, so I pretty much just stopped trading around 10 o'clock. And went ahead and did everything else I needed to do today. So not the most exciting day, and a little bit depressing in that regard. It's always annoying when you're on a good little trend and then boom, one trade wipes you out. Of course, it was my biggest size trade of the day. So that's why I think in this video, I really want to focus on that one trade and what went wrong and how I could have fixed it or avoided it. So that will be the focus of this video. I'm not sure what I'm going to title the video yet, but probably by the end of this video, I'll have a good idea. Let's go through all these tickers, and I think it was IMMX I had my big red trade on, so maybe this one will be the focal point. Let's go ahead and check it out. Starting obviously with the daily chart, and then you can see that this ticker is a recent IPO and it's right now ranging towards a pretty nice high. And if we break this 8-8 zone, we can have a blue sky setup and this ticker can absolutely fly. So I really like the potential on this ticker. The daily is not super amazing, but the potential for a good setup is really nice. It's a biotech ticker, 7.5 million shares outstanding and 48 million market cap. Boom, 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 many check marks there. Exactly what we're usually looking for. I'll pin this video somewhere now, which talks about what we're looking for pre-market. So definitely check that recap video out if you haven't done so and you have questions on what I'm usually looking for pre-market. Looks to see there's a bunch of catalysts coming out this morning, so that's a really good sign as well. Let's go to the 5-minute and see how this ticker performed. And you can see it was kind of slow, nothing really too exciting. Then all of a sudden we had some pretty decent volume pop in here, and it went up 47%. That's a pretty okay move. Usually I'm looking for like 50, 60, 70% on that first front side leg. And then if you go down here, you can quickly see the volume died really fast. So at this point I kind of knew this ticker was dead and I stopped trading it. Eventually we did get some more volume into the open. I tried a few moves for maybe a double top or so, but nothing really ever came to fruition. The big mistake I made was this big old red dildo. That's what I got stuck in today. It was absolutely devastating, and I pretty much got the full move to the downside. I wasn't able to stop out quick enough. I tried. I had to chase the exit to the downside. Remember, pre-market you can't make stops, so which is fine. I usually never use stops. I'm not a big fan of them. Usually it's always possible to get some sort of exit, but this time it just really whacked me good. So let's go here into the 1 minute and see how this one performed. Always pay attention to the 5-minute chart because that's always really critical to have an eye on and see how things are performing. So big breakout, like I said here, 30% on these first 2 candles. And I was trying to get an entry around 6.5, which I never really got. And then it started popping up here again. And I actually bought this breakout candle, took some profits in this one, bought back on this pullback, took some more profits. This was actually quite okay. Did some pretty all right trading here and made quite a bit of money. I was up at one point like $600 on IMMX. Still not that much, but enough to like move the needle for a day like today where there really wasn't that much activity. I traded this front side again. That worked pretty well, but I fumbled here quite a bit and I didn't get that initial run, which was a little frustrating. I tried this pullback and then I tried another pullback here, and this is where devastation took over. Let's go through here. So my first entry was somewhere in the 6.5 zone. So this was before the crack, and then it cracked a little bit. I bought a little bit more, I think at like 6.4 on average. No, actually on 6.56, and then it just happened really fast. It whacked down here. I tried to place all my sell orders. And I didn't get filled, and then it whacked down again, this 6%, and I pretty much sold at the low here at like 6.2. So this was really frustrating. I think I had a total of like 1,500 size, so not like a huge size, but definitely above my current average. Usually I'm trying to do around 20,000, but my average is still like around 8,000 to 9,000. So this was a like $13,000 position size or something like that. So not a crazy big size, but enough where if you're getting like an 8% loser, you know, that one's going to bite you pretty hard. And that's exactly what happened here. So let's look at the 5 minute and see how I might have been able to avoid this. So 5 minute was making a 1 minute pullback here and was holding pretty well. Volume was a little bit lighter, which is not a bad sign because we're having a pullback. So not high volume on the sell candle, which is a really good sign. And I think that's what made me a little bit bullish here. And then we are holding again on the 5 minute, and I was thinking we were going to have at least maybe a retest here. Worst case, if this was a failed move, I can always get out of it for break even or something like that. Unfortunately, this kind of anticipation trade did not pay off because we didn't even get that breakout move. I was really thinking we get either a breakout continuation or just a full-on fake out, but at least I could get out into the fake out if it didn't work, if we, let's say, didn't break $8. Plus, we had room to run till about 866, where if you go to the daily chart, you can see that's where the big resistance is. We also have big resistance around $8, but 8.6 roughly is really the main resistance zone. So I thought we still had some upside there, but I guess it was a little bit naive because $8 is kind of a psychological zone more than like 8.6 or 8.68 or something like that. So here I got slammed pretty hard, and you know, if I could go back, I would probably still do this trade again because it wasn't necessarily a bad trade. I think, yes, the 5 minute was quite extended, and that was a big warning sign for sure, but you never really know because look how extended all these moves are. So if you're waiting for another pullback or something, it just would have never happened, right? So the 1 minute was a pretty decent setup. The 5 minute maybe a little bit extended, and we still had room to run, but we did have that big psychological $8 resistance. So basically, this is not an A quality setup. This is really like a B quality setup. There's potential here. The sell volume's not that high yet. Eventually, when it broke, the sell volume really spiked, but at this point, I was already trying to get out. So what I should have done is notice that this is not an A quality setup. This is like a B quality setup at best. Let me just use half size. So around, I don't know, $4,000 to $10,000, somewhere in that range based on my average position size at the moment. And that alone could have avoided a lot of risk because ultimately you don't make money by not trading, and scared money doesn't make money. So you have to make attempts. But if it's not a quality setup, if it's not like your good go-to front side move, if maybe you're a little bit extended and there's more downside risk than upside risk, which at this point you could definitely argue there was. Because even if we have that failed breakout at like 8% or so, that's about a 5% upside. But the next big support zone is right around here at $7, which, you know, that's a negative 8% down draw. So the risk reward on this trade, I would probably argue, is negative. It's not an ideal setup. The overall market has been fairly weak, especially on small caps. So this is probably not a trade to gun it. And I think what my big problem was here was not the fact that I took the trade, but the fact that I sized up too big into a trade with not the best risk reward potential. And that's a big problem on my end. So I got to own up to that mistake. And that's really what it was. It was a total mistake on my end. I should have never been sized up. I could have easily took this same loss with a smaller size and been kind of fine. So that's a point alone. The second point is I was very drowsy this morning. Usually, you know, I wake up at 4:45, but usually at 4:45 I get out of bed and I'm ready to go and I feel pretty clear in my mind. Today was not the case. Today I woke up and I literally felt like I was hungover. I had a headache, I was really tired, and I always say don't ever trade, you know, hungover or when you're sick or really anything where you're not clear in the head. And I think when I was up around, you know, $800 or $1,000 today, I should have just been like, you know, that's pretty much as good as I can get today based on what we're seeing in the markets. Plus, I'm not feeling that great. There's no point for me to gun it. So being a little bit more aware on my current physical state, I should have been a bit more proactive to take off, especially my physical state plus the state of the small cap market. This wasn't, you know, we didn't have 100% gapper with massive volume on the 1 minute. Although actually, okay, that's probably not true because the 1 minute volume here was looking really good. But still, it's not a big gapper at this point. So there's no point for me to really gun it and size up that much. It's always this kind of fine line because you guys know that 2022 is a big year where I'm really focusing on sizing up. So it's one of those things, it's such a delicate process. You want to put the pedal to the metal, but at the same time, you got to know when to do that. And that's such a delicate procedure. And you can see today I was not able to do it correctly. And whack, I got punished for that and, you know, had basically a scratch day because of it. And then I finished up here with a little bit of a pullback trade. The 5-minute was kind of looking all right. Unfortunately, I was not able to hold this one long enough, and I got a very small base hit here. That was more of a scratch. Nothing really to run home about. So yeah, that was IMMX. Really the one to focus on here, because this is the one that was the big game changer today. This one made me and then broke me all in the same pre-market hour or 30 minutes. Let's keep going here and just wrap up with these other tickers. NXGL, slightly red on this one. It's kind of funny. Everything is just so slight today that it's almost not, it doesn't feel worth talking about. But yeah, daily chart, big backside with big resistance at 3.5. Healthcare sector, 5.6 million shares outstanding, 18 million market cap with a catalyst. So that's good to see. But this ticker just was dead before it even really got started. We have a nice quick front side here around 46%. Volume maybe a little bit light. And if you just see here on the 1 minute, you can see what I mean by a little bit lighter volume, where in this area we're only getting like 200 shares per 1 minute candle, which if you're coming from any other space in the market, you probably think that's a lot, but trading small cap top gainers, that's really not that much, especially for Q1 and the current price of this ticker. But at the same time, there was good opportunities on this ticker. Let's keep an eye on the 5 minute as well. See how this ticker just climbs up here, races all the way to this big resistance zone that we mentioned earlier. So we have 3.5 big resistance, and then we have more big resistance near the IPO of this ticker. And we were able to make it, milk it a little bit to the front side, and then my last trade, unfortunately, I gave back on, which is fine. I don't mind giving back on my last trade because you don't know how far a ticker is going to go. Totally fine with giving back profits here on this one, but I should have milked this front side a lot harder. So I didn't go in with big enough size here. I mean, this is a clear front side here, good on the 5 minute too. I don't know why I'm not trading with 4,000 shares and holding longer in this area. So my big problem on NXGL was just not milking the front side as hard as I should have. Everything else I did on that ticker was pretty good. VINE, this was a late mover in terms of pre-market trading. There was nothing, and then into the market, this ticker really popped up. Let's quickly look at the daily really fast here. Wow, very similar to NXGL on the open. Recent IPO, beverage company, 12 million shares outstanding, 86 million market cap. Okay, all looks pretty good. They have a collaboration or a partnership here with Kitchen and Soup Bar, so that's a nice catalyst. Let's keep looking what else we got on the 5 minute. This ticker is a little bit devastating. Quick leg to the upside and then sells off consolidation. Quick leg to the upside and sells off consolidation. This ticker halted like 3 or 4 times today. So that was a really aggressive mover. I came a little bit late to the party because I was focused on different tickers at the open. I think it was IMRN that I was really focused on. And I tried to trade this move back to the upside, and actually we did get a good little crawl here. But I wanted to keep trading this one after 10 o'clock, but man, I had a slamming headache and I just could not look at my chart. So I was like, you know what? I'm slightly green after being red and giving back all my profits. I'm just going to take my little win and call it a day. So I think if I was in a better mental state today, I probably could have got a little bit more profits out of VINE. I just did a really small trade in this one. You can see with a very small size, took my profits really quickly just to kind of get a feel for this ticker. I knew we had good upside potential till about 9.5, so I was thinking I should probably milk this, but at the same time, I just don't have the energy for it, so I'm just going to call it here at 10. Otherwise, I really think I would have. If like sometimes you just feel the energy and you're a bit more in a flow state, I definitely would have kept on trading this one. But to me, I just wasn't in the flow state. I mean, like looking at this, you think like, how can you possibly lose money on this? I guarantee you today I would have done something silly where I would have bought at the high, then I got shaken out here, then it breaks out and I would have FOMO'd. Like that's what happens when you're, not 100%. So I don't really regret not trading that one anymore. And then IMRN. Let's go to this ticker, the last one. I'm up the most on it, but still, only $108. So kind of still technically on a normal day, this would be like a total scratch ticker as well. It is actually popping up a little bit now. This kind of looks good. 10% move here. Not too shabby. I think that's even above VWAP. We'll see in a second. On the daily though, this ticker is gnarly. It is a recent gapper, but it looks like it's always got these like 1 day failed spikes. So keep that in mind. High relative volume though today, so that's good, but it has limited upside till about $4, $5, and $5. There's a big time resistance on this ticker, and I would probably even argue there's a lot of resistance right around $4. You can see it used to be a support, and then it became resistance. Biotech, 5.6 million shares outstanding, 22 million market cap. So that's really nice. Good stats there. Nice small cap. with a bunch of catalysts coming out, so that's nice to see. And let's dive into the 5-minute again, see what that looks like. Yeah, so unfortunately, like TOS opens at 7 a.m. This gets one quick pop here to the upside, and then ever since then it was selling off. So you had to be really quick on this ticker, and then it was dead. And that was a little depressing. I also messed up this red to green move here, which was also kind of frustrating. Let's again go to the 1 minute while keeping an eye on the 5 minutes, see how this one performed. And then scroll back here on the 1 minute a little bit more. This was such a quick mover that right away, out of the gates, it was one 14% candle, and then it was dead. It just instantly died. Near big resistance, so you want to know where the big resistance is. And then I traded the range here a little bit, looking for some moves. I noticed this was a ranging pullback, so this was really dangerous. This was actually a really good trade here, but I got in just a little bit too early. Luckily, I was able to size down. I got that nice little pop there. Basically, it was a ranging scalp trade, a classic way to go, especially if there's not a lot of good front sides. And then I tried to trade this red to green move here, which I kind of got, but I entered a little bit too early in this area, and then I ended up closing my size, I think right before, like literally right before this 4% pop. I bought that sell-off here, and I averaged down a little bit, but then I missed this pop again. And then I was like, man, I'm just not getting any flow today. And not to mention, this is a horrible price action ticker, so why am I even trading this one? So I just walked away, and, good thing I did, because, look at this. What is that? That's like a 10% flush. That's just ugly price action today. And I really got to be happy the fact that I'm not like red today, because I think it would have been pretty easy getting red today, especially if you weren't trading before 7 a.m., which I was, and that's where I was really green, but then the rest of the day I just gave back profits. So, same old story there, where I make all my money from 7 to 8, and then I just somehow give it back the rest of the day. So kind of same theme. Hopefully you guys are learning more than I am, because somehow I just keep making the same mistake over and over again. But hey, sometimes it takes several mistakes to learn your lesson, I guess. I don't know. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed. Hope you got some value out of that recap video. I'll see you then first thing tomorrow morning for another recap video. Don't forget to drop a like on the way out and subscribe if you're new. We'd love to have you part of the community. And also don't forget to fill out that NFT trader card form so you can become an NFT. More information in the Discord. I'll see you guys then first thing tomorrow morning. Like always, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.